Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle a really big challenge in the AI world, and that's getting your models to give you the right answers. We're going to dive into a super powerful tool inside Amazon Bedrock called a Reranker and see how it can seriously boost the accuracy of your apps. So, let's get right into it. So, you've been there, right? You've built a retrieval augmented generation system, a RAG system. You ask it a pretty simple question, and the answer you get back is, well, it's just completely out in left field. You know the information is in your documents, but for some reason the AI just can't seem to find it. It is an incredibly common and frustrating problem.
And the issue almost always comes down to one single thing: relevance. It is the classic junk in, junk out situation. If you feed your big, powerful AI model a whole pile of irrelevant documents to answer a question, you're just going to get an irrelevant, or at best, a kind of mediocre response back. I mean, think about it like this. Even the most advanced AI model is kind of like a genius researcher who's just been handed a messy, totally disorganized library. If they have to sift through thousands and thousands of unrelated pages just to find that one tiny paragraph that actually matters, well, their final report probably isn't going to be very good. And that, in a nutshell, is the AI relevance problem. But what if that genius researcher had an expert assistant, someone to go through that messy library first and pull out only the most important books? Well, that's where our hero comes in. Let's meet the Reranker model. So what exactly is this thing? Well, a Reranker is a specialized model, and it has one job and one job only: to look at your question, look at a list of documents, and then very, very quickly score how relevant each document is to that question. It goes way beyond just matching keywords. It has a deep semantic understanding to get the real context. Then, it just reorders that list, putting the most critical info right at the top for your main AI to use. And this is honestly the perfect way to think about it. The Reranker really is like an expert curator for your AI's library. It doesn't just find a book, it finds the right books and then puts them in the perfect order for your main model to get to work. The process itself is actually pretty straightforward. First, your initial search, your vector database, whatever, grabs a whole bunch of potentially relevant documents. That's our messy pile. Second, the Reranker model meticulously goes through and scores every single one against your query. And then finally, it hands over a clean, prioritized, much smaller list to your main AI model. It is an incredibly effective way to just filter out all the noise. Okay, so you're probably sold on the idea by now, but what tools do you actually have to work with inside Amazon Bedrock? Let's take a look at the specific models and, importantly, where you can use them. So right now, Bedrock offers powerful Reranker models from two key players: Amazon with its own Rerank 1.0 model and Cohere with their Rerank 3.5 model. As you can see, they're both available in a bunch of key AWS regions, which gives you plenty of options depending on where your apps are hosted. Now listen up, because this is a really important pro tip. If you're building in the very, very popular US East and Virginia region, you've got to take note. Your only option for a Reranker is Cohere's model. This is one of those little details buried in the docs that can save you a ton of time and headaches down the road. Great, so we know the models, but how do we actually use them? Well, Bedrock gives you two main paths, and the one you choose really depends on what you're trying to build. On one hand, you've got the console integration. This is absolutely perfect if you're using Amazon Bedrock knowledge bases. It's a super easy, guided workflow where you basically just check a box to turn on re-ranking. On the other hand, you can call the Rerank API directly. This gives you total flexibility, and it's really the way to go for custom applications where you're managing the whole document retrieval process yourself. All right, let's talk about the part that, can sometimes trip people up: permissions. But don't worry, we are going to make this really, really straightforward. At its absolute core, it is this simple. Your user or role needs permission to ask for a re-rank, and if you're using knowledge bases, the Bedrock service itself needs permission to perform that re-rank for you. It's just two sides of the same coin. So let's just break it down. If you're calling the API directly for a custom app, your user role just needs Bedrock re-rank and Bedrock invoke model. That's it. Simple. Now, if you're using knowledge bases, your user just needs the standard retrieve permission. But, and this is the key part, you have to make sure the Bedrock service role has permission to call the Reranker model on your behalf. The good news is the console often helps set this up for you. So we've covered the what, the how, and the who needs what. But now let's get to the most exciting part: the payoff. I mean, why go through all this trouble in the first place? This is the crucial point. Re-ranking gives you this amazing trifecta of benefits. First and most obviously, you get way higher accuracy.
Better inputs mean better outputs, period. Second, you can actually lower your costs. By sending a smaller, more focused set of documents to your main model, you reduce your inference bill. And third, you get lower latency. It is just plain faster for the model to process 5 super relevant documents than 25 kind of relevant ones. It is a true win-win-win.
So, as we wrap things up here, I'll just leave you with this thought. We all know that an AI is only as good as the data you feed it. So, the real question is, are you just dumping the whole library on its desk and hoping for the best? Or are you giving it a perfectly organized, curated set of sources? Maybe it's time to hire an expert curator for your AI.